Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coco. I'm Jen. Thank you for joining me for today's Strong and Steady class. Let's start our warm-ups and then we'll talk about today's class. So standing with your feet comfortably distanced apart, weight even in both feet, soft bend in the knees, arms going in small, deliberate circles. Working on your breathing, intentional breaths in through your nose. Feel your rib cage expand and exhale out your mouth. Using those exhales to activate your core, draw it inward towards your spine. Good. For those attentive people, I change directions of my circles and now I'm drawing them down to my side and opening up for large circles, backstroke. So for today's class, we have 7 rounds and each round incorporates strength training, cardio, and rest, okay? The ratio is kind of 3, 2, 1. So we're gonna work for 60 seconds. We're gonna do cardio for 30, and then we're gonna rest for about 15 to 20. All right, we'll take more if we need to. All right, 7 rounds. So I have my dumbbells. I have my Goldilocks array, heavy, medium, and light. And I have my folding chair. Okay, upper body is warm. Let's swing them about just a bit. Good, nice and relaxed, not opening up too much, just trying to get some blood flow and squeezing the shoulder blades together. Good. All right, place your hands on your hips. All right, belly button in. Activate your lats. Inhale as you melt forward into your hinge and exhale as you rise, pressing your heels to the ground to activate your hamstrings. Good. All right, that should be some good hinging. Now let's cross your arms out in front. Elbows parallel to your armpits to activate through your lats. Draw the belly button in, and we're gonna do a body weight squat. Soften the knees, send your tailbone back, and then sink toward the ground. Focus on pressing through your heels to rise. Nicely done. Okay, good work. All right, so as I mentioned, this first round is always going to be strength training focused. So let's reach for dumbbells. And our first movement is iron cross. Okay, so you're going to want to reach for your lighter dumbbells for this. All right, so as a reminder, you'll sink into your body weight squat. As you do so, your arms extend. As you rise, you open your chest, okay, and so on. So we're gonna try and do this for 60 seconds, or as close to 60 seconds as we can. And then we'll set our dumbbells down, or you can keep it in your hands, lateral shuffle. So if you keep your dumbbells in, make sure your elbows are back. Now I'm just taking 2 steps so I can stay in the view of the iPad, but we're trying to pull from our heels to activate our glutes in our lateral shuffle. Okay, so with that said, let's get going. All right, I'm gonna start the timer and we have iron cross for 60. Ready? All right, squat, squeeze the shoulder blades together, draw the belly button in. Nice and controlled. Now, if it feels a lot in your shoulders, your adjustment is just a dumbbell squat, right? Good, we have 25 seconds left. Or yeah, set your dumbbells down. 10 seconds. Good. And time. Dumbbells at your sides or set them down. Soft bend in the knees. Shuffle, 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 shuffle. Keep your hips down. Grab from your heels. Your knees shouldn't be clicking together. Good. Feel your heel grab the space. And time. All right, nice job. Set the dumbbells down if you want. Our next round is single leg RDL. So we're gonna use the back of the chair. All right, so you can weight the chair if you want. Remember, we use our surrender hands as we lower ourselves down. We'll stay using just one leg, the same leg for 30 seconds, right? So we'll hinge on the single leg as one leg goes down and the torso goes down, and using the chair close enough to you that you aren't worried about falling over, that your hands just fall straight down to the chair. All right, you ready? That was our 2-minute bell. Okay, surrender hands, nice and close. I'm just really maybe two hands away from the back of the chair, not too far. All right, you ready? Single leg RDL. So I'm keeping my right foot down. So that means I'm focusing on my right heel. I'm creating those imaginary headlights on my shoulders, hips and kneecap. Activating through my heel to contract and come to standing. One more. And switch. Just like that, switch feet. As your hips open up, right, you softly bend your knee even more. As you lower down to parallel to the ground, you should feel that lengthening of your hamstring. And as you pause down, you're thinking how strong it feels back there. Time. Okay, now we're high marching for 30 seconds. Good. All right, now this is a faster movement that should really help drive blood flow and actually drive some of that fatigue out of your legs from that RDL concentrated work. Let that tension just drip and cascade out of your neck and shoulders, down your back, as you maintain your good posture, nice and tall. All right, nice job. That's 30 seconds. Okay. What is next? One more standing element before we sit, okay? So we're gonna do a bent over row to a double tricep kickback. So we're bent over, arms are dangling, row, kick back, and kick back. Got it? So that first one, sometimes there's momentum in it, but we're gonna drill our elbows in and do a double kickback. So then you feel like, oh, yeah, okay, I can now recognize momentum, and now I can't use momentum. All right, our cardio element is icky shuffle. So again, we're shuffling, but then we're lifting, right? Contracting, getting some good oblique work in. All right, so you have your dumbbells. I'm gonna start the timer. Everyone should be in their hinged position. You don't have to go parallel to the ground, just hinge forward. So you have to work against gravity a little bit. Okay, you ready? All right, steady. Let's go. Okay, row, kick back, and again, kick back. All right, lower, row, kick back, and kick back. Now, as you do this double kick back, keep the shoulders drawn back. You want your shoulder blades pinched together. Some static work for your rear deltoids, your middle traps. Exhale and lengthen your spine. Kick back and kick back. Exhale, kick back and kick. kick, and kick. Excellent work. Kick and kick. One more. Kick and kick. All right. Icky shuffle. Ready, stand to the side. Step, step, lift, go. Step, 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 lift, 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 lift. Good. Use that exhale, get that oblique fired up. Last one. All right, nicely done. All right, this is just flying by, kids. All right, now we have a couple of seated elements of work. Okay, so get your chair. Now the two seated elements that are here, you can reach for your heavier dumbbells, perhaps. We're gonna start with halos. Halos are our shoulder articulation. So you have your dumbbell at your chest, and we're gonna wrap it around our neck like a scarf. So we wanna be able to open up, right? So if you can reach across and grab your other ear, that's kind of the articulation that you're looking for. Being able to open up that armpit, rib cage without bending your head to the side, right? So staying really tall, we're gonna wrap around. Okay, you ready? All right, we're going for 30 seconds each direction. Let's begin. Ear, back of neck, ear, and front. Just working continuously, rolling around in that shoulder, staying nice and smooth, but also still. Good, just a couple more in this pattern. Don't lose your grip, especially if you have a heavy. All right, now I'm changing directions, tumbling the other way. Good, we have a tendency to project our head forward, kind of like I was gonna say a chicken, not a very nice visual, but we don't want to do that, obviously. All right, so we're gonna go into dumbbell skier arms after this. Okay, so you're gonna reach for your second dumbbell and come to standing. All right, ready? Hands and hips go back and exhale. Good. Use that exhale to activate your core. One more and done. All right, let the arms swing down to the side. Excellent job. Okay, 4 rounds down. Round 5. Again, we'll stay seated. So what we're gonna do for round 5, we have a new movement, new-ish, called concentration curls. Okay, what do you mean, Jen? All right, well, it takes concentration. So you'll hold 2 dumbbells, but we're gonna hold one still, excuse me, still, but with our arm at a right angle. So you're holding like a platter. And for 30 seconds, one side's gonna work while the other is holding it still. And then at the 30-second mark, then we'll just change sides. So you have to concentrate and hold this muscle under tension, static tension, while the other side's working. And focus work, contraction, lengthen, right? Not just contract, let go, and your body falls apart. Okay, so concentration curls, and then we'll stand up, use our chair, and do a side kick, alternating, and the chair can be our framework or support. All right, you ready? So I'm gonna hold first with my right, and I'll curl with my left. All right, ready? curl, curl. And I like to sometimes just open my palm flat so then I can pretend that I'm holding something heavy, nice and still, this platter. Good. Okay, now we're going to switch. Alternate your platter and curl. Open your palm if you can. Keep your elbows screwed to your rib cage and don't let your shoulders slope forward. Sit nice and tall. Light tension in the rear of your shoulders. Okay, set those dumbbells down. Woo! Nice burn. Okay, chair out in front. Come to standing. Hands on either side for support if you need it. If not, hands on your hips. Alternating side kick, ready, and go. Kick and kick, kick and kick. Knee then heel, knee then heel. Good work. Two and one. All right, good. Hopefully you got some butt burn. Nice job. I like the tempo you guys all kept with me. All right, next. So this one is a compound movement I like a lot because it can be very graceful and beautiful. What we're gonna do, and I remember whenever we do something new or a new combo, reach for lighter weights. We're gonna do a bent over fly. We all know the bent over fly. Hinge and fly. Then you're gonna reverse your hinge and do a lateral raise. Then over, fly, elbows out, raise, elbows up. Okay, you got it? Let me just show you from the front for you guys on TV land. Hinge, fly, hinge, and raise. Okay, so take it at your tempo. Ready, steady, and let's go. Bent over, fly, raise, and fly. Fly, and fly. Fly, and fly. So this is a perfect kind of movement for 60 seconds because it's not the same thing over and over again. We're using our mid back and then our mid shoulders, right? So you get to alternate nicely, but then also you got to think. Fly, upright, and lat raise. Fly, and lat raise. Fly, and lat raise. Okay, nicely done. Now, dumbbell to the chest. Feet together. We're gonna step back and do a front raise, alternating step backs. Ready, steady. Okay, dumbbell at your hips now. Step back and raise together. Back, together. Split stance, together. Split stance, together. Exhale to come together. Use the hamstrings and glutes. Front heel together. Good. And done. Nice job. Okay, 7 rounds down. Now, let me set the timer for 2 minutes. Our last round, we're gonna go back to that high march idea, but we're gonna add a dumbbell into our high march. So if you have that single dumbbell at your chest, and if you did an overhead raise, but not biceps to ears, over chest, and then as you did your knee raise, you tap and press, tap and press. You got it? So that is our work, and that is gonna get your heart going. And then we're gonna go back to the dumbbell skier arms one more time after that. Okay, so have that second dumbbell close by. All right, you ready? Okay, dumbbells. All right, so start with them held. Good. Oopsie. All right, and knee thrust tap, knee thrust tap. So single leg balance, right? Don't round your spine as you lower the weight. You're gonna get into the chest and into the front of your shoulders. Obviously, if you don't have a good weight, then just use your arms. Elbows down to meet the knee. Three, two, and one. All right, heart rate's going. Let's pick up those dumbbells. Ready, ski your arms and go. Hands and hips. Good. Breath to activate core. 10 seconds. All right, and time. Woo. All right, nicely done. Okay, so set your dumbbells down, get a drink of water, and we'll make our way down to the ground. Okay. All right, everyone. Using your chair as you need it. The seat of your chair, support yourself down into your half kneel and then double kneel. And then walk your way either in tabletop and then make your way down to your side of your hip. Top hand supports as elbow goes down and rolling onto your shoulders. So you find your way all the way down to the ground. All right, and spending just a moment here to relax and let all that stress just melt off of you down into your mat, into your carpet, onto your towel. Feel your heart rate come back to you. That last round there we did with great energy, but also hopefully it did a good job elevating your heart rate. So as we're thinking heart rate, let's go to breath. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Nice and long with control. Not gushing in or gushing out, just a gentle flow. And then start uniting that flow with what you feel in your body. Air flowing in, expanding your rib cage. Air flowing out, sinking your belly. You can palpate your belly if you want, making sure that it's sinking down towards your spine, even as you draw air in and exhale. And now begin thinking about the first order. Pelvic floor begins to lift to meet your transverse as it sinks. And then adding in pelvic floor transverse, rib cage closing, squeezing the intercostals. All of that should occur in the first second of your breath. And so that remainder of time, you're thinking about holding that power box nice and tight, preserving that space in your low back, and then releasing, holding, preserving, releasing your glutes, releasing your chest, all the places where you don't want to be gripping onto, release. Now begin breathing so deeply into your body setup that you peel your tailbone off of the ground. As you inhale, go back to neutral. As you exhale, even more pulling. Feel it go from not just your tailbone, but to the first and second sacral vertebrae. Making your belly into that shallow bowl. Excellent. You should be warmed up and ready to go. So now we're going to roll all the way up into our glute bridge. So inhale through your nose and exhale, tailbone, sacral vertebrae. Continue to pull from your transverse, and then your heels become just a bit more active, and you press your pelvis all the way up. And so now you're a slide going down to your shoulders, from knee to hip to shoulders, strong in this position. And then soften and melt your way down, one vertebrae at a time. Good. Okay, hit the reset button. Are my legs held in parallel the whole time? As I'm holding the top of my bridge, can I feel the essential elements kicking in to support me? I feel my glutes. I feel my hamstrings. I mean, ideally, we'll start peeling away our glutes and hold our pelvis up only using our transverse and our hamstrings. But then what about my inner thighs? Can I feel those kick in and activate? Let's try it again. All right, inhale through your chest. Exhaling into your shallow bowl, peeling the tailbone, grabbing by the transverse, pulling your spine up. Heels activate to support with the hamstrings. Now here I am at the top of my bridge. I'm thinking about my legs held in parallel. As I exhale, I'm going to lift my pelvic floor and, oh, yep, there's my inner thighs. Legs are straight ahead. Now, as I'm here, I'm going to pause for just a second, and I'm going to wrap my transverse so much and try and let go of my glutes. So now all that's supporting my hips are my hamstrings and my transverse. All right, go ahead and activate in your glutes again. Give it a little bit of support. Inhale, and then exhale, release the glutes. Wrap the transverse. Inhale, activate the glutes. Exhale, release. Wrap the transverse deeply. Inhale, glutes. And then exhale, let's roll down one vertebrae at a time. Draw your knees to your chest. Give yourself a little stretch. For that one, I encourage those of you that are willing to try it to be self-aware. If you're feeling it too much in your low back, and when you release your glutes, Then we need to focus on strengthening our transverse even more, because what's happening is it's just not quite strong enough to hold the weight of your pelvis, or we aren't using it enough to hold the weight of our pelvis up. And so then all of that weight is resting in our back, which we don't want. Before it was resting in our glutes and we're fine because we all have, strong glutes. But is our transverse strong enough to hold it is the question. Or can we train it to be strong enough? And that answer is yes. Okay. All right. Now, I would like us all to roll over onto our bellies. Okay. We're going to do some prone work. All right. So find your way onto your bellies. All right. Now, the ideal here is your legs are wider than your hips, so you can roll them around a little bit to try and get those muscles to turn themselves off, right? Because this is all about using the right muscles and not using the muscles we don't want to be using. Now, the ideal position here is forehead down to the ground. For those of you that don't like your nose smushed, you can elevate your forehead just a little bit with a towel or a little blanket. Take your arms and lower them down to your side. So they're by your hips. Yep. And you can do palms up. Okay. Now I'm going to turn my head to the side because I can't talk into the mat very well. But you keep your nose down. Okay. Now start with your body setup. As you inhale, feel your rib cage expand. It's pressing into the mat. You should have good awareness here. It's being smushed. Inhale. Feel it expand, and then exhale. Pull your belly button away from the mat. Lift upward towards your spine. Exhale and repeat that, keeping your legs dead, like your legs aren't even there. You'll find that you'll a lot of times grip through your quads or press through your quads. So watch for those. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, belly button lifts. No quads, no glutes. Good. Okay. On the next exhale, we're going to start drawing our shoulders back away from the mat, making sure we stay zipped. Inhale through the chest. Exhale, draw your shoulders away from the mat. So as you inhale, your shoulders are almost sloped all the way to the ground. And as you exhale, you're drawing them away, squeezing your shoulder blades together. Inhale, return. The further your shoulders come back, the further your shoulder blades squeeze together, the more likely your rib cage is to flare out. So exhale in your body setup, zip the rib cage, and then draw your shoulders back. Because as we grow and grow into this series, we don't want to live in our low back, right? Exhale. Okay, as you continue this work, you might find that your arms want to leave the ground. So with palms up, as you draw your shoulders back, activate through your triceps and lift your arms off the ground. Your palms should still be shining toward the ceiling. You might feel like you have energetic fingertips reaching for that back wall. That's a good sensation too. Good. So another mental image you might carry with you is you're trying to pinch a pencil between your shoulder blades. Okay, good. Now we'll give our arms and shoulders a little rest, and we're going to work on the next piece independently. So the next piece with face down and legs wide and dead legs is your breath and a head float. Okay. So just begin with your breath if you need to have that reminder. Inhale into the chest, exhale into your body. Set up, belly button lifting, rib cage closing. Okay, you got it? Then with your next exhale, after you go through your body setup, lengthen through your spine and then float your nose away from the mat. And then inhale, go back down. And honestly, the hardest part of this work is not to activate your legs. Your quads will want to push through the ground to lift, right? Like a teeter-totter. We are not a teeter-totter here. We're just floating our head. So start small, just peel your nose away gently. Okay, once you have your head float mastered, then let's go back to our arms. Exhale into your setup, float the head, and then start drawing your shoulders back, leaving your arms on the ground. Exhale, head float, start peeling the wings back, squeezing the shoulder blades. Before you move on in the progression, make sure you find success at least 3 to 4 times. Okay, head float, shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades, and no pressure from your legs. And obviously, body setup. If you're having success consistently, then you can add the arm float. So, activating through the triceps to pull your arms off the mat. Okay, good. Exhale, body setup, head float, shoulders back, triceps, all the way down. Exhale, body setup, head float, shoulders back, triceps. All right, nicely done. Now, we're going to stay out of our legs for right now. We're going to rotate our palms down. And so now we're going to do very sad face down snow angels. Because it would be sad if we made face down snow angels. All right, so we're still going to float through our triceps to get our arms off the ground. But once we're lifted, we're going to try and hold through our breath and make snow angels, okay? So we're not actually going to skim our hands on the ground. We're going to float and articulate through our back. But zip, zip, zip. This is breath work, keeping your body set up, breathing into your chest and not your belly throughout. I know it's exhausting. Body set up, exhale, head float, hands float, shoulders back. I also like to call this hover arms. Good, and always stay with only as many repetitions as good form will allow. And then take your rest. Okay. Right now, we'll take our hands and I'll bring them up and rest our forehead on our hands. So if this is comfortable for you, now we're going to switch gears into our legs a little bit. Okay. So you can rest your forehead on your hands and your elbows are out. Breathe into your body setup. Now, our leg work is activating in our hamstrings to float a leg off the ground. We need to keep our pelvis anchored into the mat. So find it heavy. Feel your hip pointers in. As you exhale, body set up, and then a hamstring shortens and floats a dead leg off the ground and then returns back down. Exhale, alternate. Isometric hold at the top, exhale. All right, now our arms, instead of laced underneath our forehead, we'll go ahead and extend them out. So they're kind of bent at the elbows, but they're reaching for the wall in front of us. And now our forehead is down, smushed on the ground again. Right now we're going to do swimming. So swimming is activating upper back and hamstrings simultaneously. So we'll breathe into our body setup to create stability, right? Shoulder, shoulder, hip to hip stability onto the mat. But one arm's going to float up, one leg's going to float up and down. Now, don't do it without wrapping, okay? This should not be in your low back. We're floating from our upper back, but hamstrings are drawing the leg up off the ground, not your back. Exhale, float and down. Exhale, alternate and down. Do you hear me exhaling every time I do a float? Inhaling, exhale into your body setup. Zipping the rib cage, drawing the belly button up. All right, nicely done. Now, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Okay, draw your elbows to your rib cage. So my hands are literally planted under my shoulders. Elbows are in. I'm still face down. And now I'm going to exhale into my setup, lifting my belly button away from the mat, keeping my legs dead. Now I feel the energy of the heel of my hands into the ground, yeah? As I exhale, I'm going to start pushing from the heel of my hands and lifting my torso away from the mat. Rising like a cobra as I zip. And then slowly lower back down to the mat. So we want to rise up a neutral spine. So you have to not round too much in the low back. You're going to use your transverse to keep that lumbar supported and press up from your triceps. Okay. Inhale and exhale into your setup. And press. Only as high as you can, supporting the low back. And then slowly lower. Try that one more time. Keep it small if you need to, okay? Because you need to feel like my transverse is lifted and my rib cage is closed as much as possible. Exhale. Keep that shallow bowl. And lower. All right, let's roll over onto our side. Our top arm is extended out and away. We have that space between our ear and the ground. You can use a yoga block or a pillow to support it. Our legs are together. They're out in front of us just a little bit. So our back is in its neutral and our legs are hinged forward, kind of like a tiny little check mark. Okay, you want to make sure your shoulders are held in parallel here. Okay, that's why we want to have that space, and you can support it if you need to, like this. All right, so we're going to work on our obliques just a little bit here to end class. Okay, so we're going to do some side lying work. Exhale into your setup. Hold that pelvis stacked. On your next exhale, oblique and glutes, float the leg up off the ground and lower, not all the way down. Float and lower. Pull. As you're palpating here, folks, pull from that oblique. Good. With this last one, we're going to lower just to parallel and then take our small circles. So as you do your small circles, be aware the only thing moving is the stirring of the pot. You have a shoulder and a hip on the ground that should help stabilize you, and use your top oblique to stabilize that free side of your pelvis. And then use your glutes, focus on obliques and glutes to stir the pot from your heel. Pause and exhale and continue. Wrapping the transverse. Slow burn. Good, and then we'll pause and one more opener and then down. Draw that knee forward, give yourself a little stretch. Pat yourself in the glute. All right, then we'll make our way to the other side. Okay, so now I'm lying on my left side. Okay, right side is up, left arm's extended, straight out from my armpit, shoulders in parallel, neutral spine from shoulder to hip, okay, and legs are together out in front just a bit. All right, they're straight, but they're out in front. Okay, breathe into your body setup. Good, nice and flat and active. On the next exhale, yep, heel and down, just a parallel, not all the way down. We're working on keeping that muscle under tension throughout here. Exhale and pull. Inhale, return. Try not to carry too much energy in your toes. I just found myself doing it. I reminded myself, let go of your toes. I'm pulling the entire weight of my leg from my heel, which will translate into my glute. Good. Now back to parallel and circles. And your measure of success is that the only thing moving here is the leg and the joint. My pelvis is completely stable. Pause and change directions. Good, and pause, and one more big abduction and down. Good, and knee forward to your chest. Good, yes, excellent. You can open up and tee your arms out, open, holy tight, Batman. Open your chest to the sky. Good, now I'm gonna line myself with my pelvis on the ground, shining to the ceiling, drawing my knees to my chest, and I'm gonna let them fall to the ground on one side. Take that rotation, not just in my glute, which is really feeling it, but also in my low back. Try to relax through your inner thighs as much as you can here. Let your legs go dead. I know. We're all ouching in here. Good. Okay, rolling your pelvis back to neutral, knees to chest, and then lower them to the other side of your body. Take that free hand on that. If your legs are on the right side, it would be your right hand. And you can press down and release a bit more. All right, excellent job. I'm going to roll over onto my side, press my torso up. And thank you guys for joining me. Today was an extended Pilates edition. We got a little bit more time on the mat, so that was a lot of fun. We got to do different positions today, and I hope you liked it. Take care of yourself, get some good stretching in, and we'll see you next week.